This on my iPod Nano or something. All right, you all. We are ready for our first run. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in most of these countries, or some like standard daylight. I don't know. El Paso is ready to get it going here with some Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Are you all ready for the first run of the event? I encourage you all to get hype. And let's get it going, y'all, with some Kirby and the Forgotten Run. Stream, please don't break.
Hello everyone, I'm Il Pazzo, and today I'm gonna run Kirby in the Forgotten Land on Switch. I'm gonna be with Shiekrunner. How are you, Shik?
I'm doing good.
So the category is any percent on Switch, and are you ready to go?
So I'm here to just commentate a little bit. I'm a fellow Kirby and the Forgotten Land speedrunner, and I'm here to assist Pazzo in his run today and give you guys some interesting knowledge about this game as far as my understanding of everything.
Yeah, thank you very much, because I can't play and comment at the same time.
I think we've all been there.
So I'm ready to go in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go! Starting off the marathon with a good old Kirby game. Actually, it's kind of new, so it has been recently released on the Switch. So this is kind of like any other like 3D Mario, even though we're talking about Kirby. So we're gonna collect some Waddle Dees, which are essentially like the stars, or the shines or the moons from like other 3D platformers, you could say. We need to collect a minimum amount of those so that we are able to continue progressing through the game. So this is kind of like the introduction to the game that you see here right now. So as you can see, he doesn't just walk normally or jump. He actually does something that is called slide canceling. So what that is he basically does a slide and then jumps at the end of the animation of it to don't get the drop off in momentum at the end of it. So that's something that you see a bunch all the way throughout the run, especially in the first 2 stages, because we don't have the greatest power up in the game yet. So believe it or not, like this section right here, like this section that he's going through right now, is quite tricky to traverse due to like the stacked enemies there.
Yeah, lost a little bit of time, but that's not a big deal. That's okay.
So this is the first car section. We have a bunch of these throughout the whole run. So it's actually not easy to drive around with this car, but he does a good job at it. So actually it's a little bit faster if you like jump off the hills, but like a frame or so. That's something that can save you a little bit of time in like the car sections. But yeah, so like in Mario Odyssey, there's like a bunch of like cutscenes that you can skip away with like the plus button. And we're not gonna watch any cutscenes because watching cutscenes is kind of slow. So yeah. So he's almost done with the first stage. So far we have not collected any power-up yet, because collecting any power-up at this point for any percent is kind of slower. So that was a good fight.
Yeah, I missed a throw, but that's okay.
Okay, I didn't see it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like unskippable cutscenes in this game as well. Like this is one of them.
Yeah. The most annoying ones will be later in the village, where you have to watch every building of the village.
Yeah, exactly. Every time after like a world, there's usually something like that. So it's certainly something that would be nice if there was a skip for that. But since this game is fairly new, there's been like a huge community around this game that have been all trying their best at finding every skip possible and optimizations. Like this game is like roughly a month old, and the any percent run is quite optimized yet already for the time being, and there's been just a couple of glitches found so far, but the ones that have been found have been quite significant ones. And one of the glitches you actually see in this stage potentially, but it's rather like a small one. So, and like there's like a bunch of like different ways of like moving too. So what you just saw him do off like the cliff there, he actually dodge rolled or like he dodged. So you can do that, for example, to like avoid enemy attacks. So this, for a Kirby game, this has actually like very like interesting movement. Like even like the boss fights, not just the movement in general, but even like dodging mechanics. Like I don't know if there has been a Kirby ever like with that much movement options.
So the first mini boss of the game.
So hitting him from behind is a little bit faster than from the front. And this is the first Waddle Dee, and for the first world we need a total of 17 Waddle Dees, and for each completion of each stage you get at least 3. But we also need some extra ones, so we have to route in the quickest Waddle Dees into the run, so that we save as much time, because there are like a lot of Waddle Dees that you can choose from. So a lot of the first like month like running this game was spent figuring out like what the Waddle Dees are actually the fastest. This is a second mouthful mode. And maybe he gets a skip here, but it's not easy, so let's see what he does. So there's a couple of different ways that he can go about it. He got the skip, nice. So there are like actually like 2 or 3 other versions that you can go with here, and this was I think like the 3rd fastest of it. There's like a frame perfect trick here that not many runners do yet, and there's like another version where you jump off like the side of a boulder, on top of a boulder on the side. But that was as good as it could have gone. So it was really nice.
Yeah, left side turtle skip is like I think it's the slowest one. There's 2 other versions that are faster, but it's not that easy to do.
Yeah. So he's playing the game in French, but that doesn't actually matter as far as we know. Like playing the game in different language, that doesn't make the game faster or slower. So here he's gonna get the best power up in the game, in my opinion. It's like super fun. It's like the fire power up, so this really changes the movement of the game. So generally, like what you want to do with this movement ability is you want to do like things, like it's very situational. So you usually slide and then you jump and do double fire burst, like what you see him do here. But sometimes you just want to do like just one fire burst, based on like what platforms you're trying to reach. And I'm interested in to see if we can get the cycle here, which is not easy to get. There's like a really fast cycle to get here. It's unfortunately not looking like that, but still. Actually, yeah, he got the half cycle.
Oh no. I had the cycle, but I lost the power, and it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it happens. This game has like a bunch of like optimizations, so a lot of it comes down to like playing really clean in the end of it, because you can lose time everywhere, because you can just saw him bonk there It's like a second time loss. So this game really comes down to clean movement in the end. That really is what differentiates some runners from other runners. But this move is all very clean. So there's an interesting thing that he's gonna do here with the flutter ability. So he used the fibers twice, then fluttered up, and then he could get like still like the height cap cause the
I bonked. It's okay.
it happens, man. So like the height cap is like a strange thing in this game, and that was one way to maneuver the height cap so that he can still reach that platform without having to get these stairs, because that loses time, generally speaking.
So far, it's not looking that bad.
Yeah.
But once you get the more you go far in the game, the more it's getting hard, I think. The last levels are pretty hard.
Yeah, so these are some more unskippable cutscenes. We're not going to do any of the optional content in any percent. So this is one of those stages where we collect some Waddle Dees, like extra Waddle Dees. So far, there hasn't really been any Waddle Dees that we collected that were not mandatory, besides the wanted poster in the stage prior to this. But here, for example, so there are like hidden Waddle Dees, which are just Waddle Dees that are like in a very peculiar spot. But then there are also like Waddle Dees that are objective based. So for example, one objective in this game or in this stage is to collect all of the fruits that are scattered around this stage, but also to go into like a secret side path, which he's going to go into here right now. And then he gets credit for it, and that rescues one extra Waddle Dee. And those we need to open up the boss stage of each world. So if you can, you generally want to use this fire burst as much as you can. So since he has like more height here, he's like fire bursting through all of this. So this is actually kind of scary. So if he falls down here, he actually loses one Waddle Dee, but the scary part was already over. He managed to do it. So this was a huge thing for me in the start, but that would always fail. Like just falling down this cliff, because there's an objective that is like, if you fall off the cliff, you don't get an extra Waddle Dee.
Yeah, the car is a little weird to drive sometimes. It's really sensitive. I don't know how to explain, but
I think that describes it quite well. And sometimes you expect it, like you hold up or so, and you expect it to go one way, but then it goes the other way. Yeah. At least that was for me in the start when I was learning the game. A huge thing.
Oh, this is this level right there. You have to be fast. There's a mini boss you can like kind of skip. It's not really a skip, but you can kill him very fast if you are fast enough.
Yeah, so there is like an invincibility candy, which makes you invincible, of course, but it also makes Kirby deals more damage with his abilities during the star animation, essentially. Yeah, like any star animation in other Mario games, for example, it's on a set timer. So here's the part that he was talking about. If he messes this movement up, then he will lose a lot of time on the mini-boss. So far, this looks good. Don't see anything Yeah, he got it.
Should be alright, I think.
Yeah. Pretty sure. So here this mini boss is basically a one-shot now. Ooh.
Yes, got it.
So believe it or not, you'll actually see some more power-ups, not just the fire power-up in this game, even though it's a really great power-up. For a specific situation, you want to have other power-ups. Most noteworthy probably is the tornado and the hammer, but the hammer you probably won't see that much in this run besides 4-4. There are a bunch of skips with that hammer, but they are really difficult and
Yeah. I'm just gonna use it once, I think.
And I think like the story of this game so far that I've understood it from like playing it is like you're in like some sort of lost world or something. But I don't know many more than that because I don't know, I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, we don't play Kirby for the story, to be honest.
Definitely true. I always thought that these Waddle Dees were evil or something, but apparently not.
And we gotta go to the first boss of the game.
Yeah.
So I would say you have to get at least 70 Water Ds in this world to unlock the boss, and it's the same for every world. So if you miss a Water D on the level, you have to get another one, an extra one in another level, or you will have to play a whole level once again, and you lose a lot of time. So you don't want to miss them.
Exactly, and there are some awkward spots later on in the game where you might want to get like some safety Waddle Dee, just in case, so that you don't have to repeat a level or something like that. Especially often the case in World 6. Because there's some objectives that you can easily fail, and then it's kind of scary because then you would have to repeat a whole level.
Yeah, it happens to me a few times. Have to do a whole level once again and lose 5 minutes. The run is pretty much dead at this moment.
Yeah. So this is Donkey Kong, or Gorimondo. Pay attention to the eyes of the gorilla. When he's getting hit, it kind of looks strange. It's kind of freaky. But there's a couple of different ways that you can go about this fight too. There's like a star strat that you can do where you get rid of your power up and throw the stars against the boss. That's actually faster in combination with the fire power up at the end of it, because there's gonna be like a second phase here now. And in this second phase, you would switch back to your fire ability to do some damage to him. So there's actually this is something that is probably a little bit controversial in the way that like a lot of people have different opinions on what's like the best thing to do here is. Some people go sword, some people go bomb for this. But I like to believe that fire is the fastest due to the travel time, and there is like, cause with fire you move faster than without fire, and because switching power ups wastes like 2 seconds roughly, a little bit less than that, but
I think the fastest strat now for this boss is the sword, but it involves a little bit of RNG, so most of the people do it with the snow, if I'm right now. Because the snow has a really good thing. You can freeze bosses if you use it well, so it's kind of useful on some bosses because you can skip whole phases, but it's kind of hard to master.
That is true, for sure. Like, the ice is definitely really good, especially for one of the end bosses in the game. So this is probably one of the longest cutscenes that is not skippable, unfortunately.
Yeah. So every time you free one of these, they're gonna build more and more things in the village. And the thing is, sometimes the game just sends you back to the village to see the progress of the building. And it's not what we want on speedrun, but fortunately, we don't have a choice.
Exactly. There's some useful stuff that they can build, but that requires a lot of Waddle Dees, and I think that you will see that later in the run too.
Yeah. If I have enough water these, if I don't have enough, I'm gonna do it, but the level after that, you're gonna understand it later.
Yeah. So this is like the weapon upgrade shop. Unfortunately, you won't see a lot of upgraded weapons or like powers, because it takes too much time to get the resources to upgrade them and travel back. And they're just like slight upgrades here and there, so it's like usually not worth it to go back for it. Like the exception here is like Volcano, because it makes you do this. And
Plus
it's basically...
we have to upgrade here. We don't have a choice. The game sends you here and you have to upgrade something. So if we're here, just do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for this next stage, because there is like the notorious bonker skip in this stage.
First glitch of the run, if I can do it.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's certainly something that's very finicky to do. I don't fully understand it myself. Like I can get it, but quite consistently. But sometimes there's moments, I think that I can speak for most runners, where you just don't get it for whatever reason. For like a lot of times, even though you do everything like you do normally. So he tries to go over an invisible wall here. He didn't get it, but he probably tries a couple more times. So there's like an invisible wall.
Okay, last time. If I don't get it, I'm gonna do the mini boss. It's not a... No, don't get it.
Unfortunate, but it happens. It's not uncommon. It would skip this boss fight, because you would go over an invisible wall, and then you could swim around this fighting platform here, and we would just skip the fight. Because mini boss fights are optional if you can skip them. If you find a skip for them, they are no mandatory. So here, for example, we have to destroy like the sandcastle, unfortunately, because we'd like to see the world burn. It just gives us another Waddle Dee.
Yeah, it's an easy one to get.
Yeah. And generally you want to get the Waddle Dees that are objectives, rather than the Waddle Dees that are just like hidden throughout the stages, because there is no animation with the objectives, but there is an animation for rescuing a Waddle Dee just out in the world. It's like 4.5 seconds. But then there are also obviously objectives that just take too much time, and going for a hidden one is better in that scenario. A lot of choices that we have to make in this run.
So except for the bunker skip I missed, the level was pretty much okay. The thing is, when you miss bunker skip, especially on the third try, just like I did, you lose like 30 seconds, so that's unfortunate. But I can recover this time later, it's not a big deal.
So with each world, you will need to have an increasing amount of Waddle Dees to open up the last, like the end boss stage of that world. So for World 2 we need 19. but it's the same amount of levels for each world. So the further you go into the run, the less choices you have when it comes to like which Waddle Dees you want to pick up, because it's world specific, right? So you need to unlock 19 Waddle Dees in that world. And soon we will see a new power-up that's being used that has some... It's really great with movement too. It's up there with the fire power-up, but the fire power-up is generally, for most things, faster, but because of like the tornado has, for example, like a bunch of things that, you know, can do stuff that the tornado, that the fire cannot. So this is an incredibly hard section, by the way. If you just do one mistake there, you miss the cycle, and then you have to go for like a backup.
It's okay.
Yeah, and that's sometimes you accidentally flutter in this game. Because you think you're already on the ground, but you're still up in the air, so you don't jump, but flutter instead. It's really annoying when that happens.
Yeah. The thing you don't want is to lose the power. And, like, sometimes you want to swallow the power and you just spit it and you lose it. And that's the worst thing happening, because you don't have it for the next levels.
Yeah, there's some backups. There's also like something that we will see later. I think I won't mention it yet into detail, but it's called mixed roulette. Are you doing any mixed roulettes in this run?
I don't. There's no
Okay.
mixed roulette in this run.
Okay.
I know it's a thing on the bridge. I don't use it.
Okay. So the first section here. So ladders are actually quite interesting in this game. It's like really fast to like use them, but it's always like a little bit weird when you get off them at the end, because you usually get off at different positions, so it's like not every time the same. But here's where we switch to tornado. There are a couple of different ways you can do this, by the way. So some runners, they don't switch to tornado, because like tornado is more safe to do for the next two stages, but it's a little bit slower, by like 10 seconds or so. But I would say that tornado generally is like easier to maneuver here and has less risk than fire. But that's also like how well you practice with each thing.
I'm just gonna take some health, just in case.
Yeah. Marathon safety. So, and here you see one of those hidden Waddle Dees that, like, you see that it will have an animation here in a second.
Oh.
And that's why you want to try to get like this animation right here. So the wanted posters that he's trying to get here, you don't have an animation for that. Okay, awesome. So fun fact with this section here, not a lot of people know this, I think, is that you can actually lose time here if you like move unnecessarily. Cause like if you like don't do anything, you just gonna get pushed to the right and like down. But if you like want to save the maximum amount of time, you just wanna be in the middle or like on the direct path to it. Cause a lot of people think like this is kind of like an auto scroller or something, but it really isn't. So any like horizontal movement that you do actually loses the time.
Yeah, and I think you have to go step by step when you go left and right. If you do a full move, you lose time overall.
Another water D.
And don't forget the pastor.
Yeah, exactly. And the tornado, like the power that he's using right now, can be extremely like, so every time you're like done with the tornado, there's like this section, like this small, like this drop off where you lose a little bit of time before you can initiate another tornado. So that's a little bit the downside of tornado. And if you like hit like bump the walls, it can really throw your movement off. So like movement with tornado is something that can be very annoying because there can be so many, like trying to get into the door sometimes with the tornado can be horrible if you like hit just like an edge of it, of the door, and not went directly into it.
Yeah, it's really good in open areas, but the reason I'm taking it now, it's basically for this level, because this level right here, it's is way better in my opinion with the tornado, and you're gonna see why. Or maybe not for the mini boss, because there's a mini boss I'm gonna lose time on it with the tornado, but the rest of the level, it's pretty much straightforward with the tornado.
So this section, for example, is faster with the tornado than fire, but this boss is like significantly slower than with
Especially
tornado
if I
than
play
before.
like that. It's not good.
It happens. It's not an easy thing to do with the tornado. I think you were talking probably about this section right here with the tornado being like really good.
This one is the one after that. It's really good with the tornado, actually.
You see, like when he cancels, there's always like this short swirl. No, fire doesn't have that. Like right about now. So like these switches, you can also like, there's a lot of strategies, especially with fire, where you want to hit like these switches with your range ability. So if you don't have any power up or you have tornado, you use the spitting out air thing that Kirby has, like when he's like fluttering. So that was almost, we're almost done with World 2 already.
Yeah, especially for the mini boss. That was okay. And the second boss, which is probably the easiest one, if I don't mess up.
And it's probably one of the most famous Kirby bosses there is.
Yeah, I think it's the first boss ever in the Kirby series. I'm not sure, but I think it is.
Yeah, it's basically a tree. Like, what else do we fight in Kirby besides trees? I mean, come on. Every Kirby has to have at least one tree.
Oh, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, here you definitely want to go back to fire again, because fire just has such more attack power than Tornado. Tornado is kind of bad for that. There's some strategies with like stars at boss fights where Tornado can be good, but generally you just want to go with fire for most bosses, because you can just really just burn them. So every time he hits them, not only does it damage, but there's also like a debuff. The fire like does like burning damage, kind of like Pokemon. He's burned.
Oh, I got hit. Weird.
Ah.
Okay. I was talking about the easiest boss in the run, and I mess up.
I mean, I think it's also the boss. Like when you mess up, it
Oh.
doesn't matter. Okay, at this point, okay, now it does matter. I was about to say it doesn't matter that much. It's
Yeah.
usually like when you do something wrong here, it's
You can avoid those hits, but I think I was too close from him.
yeah. So what you just saw there is a weapon upgrade, but we don't want to collect those. Because we don't upgrade those weapons, and every time we would go back to the village, it would show us an animation for it.
Yeah. Plus, you need to, if you want to improve, I mean, if you want to upgrade weapons, you will need stars, and to get stars, you have to go in bonus levels, and you lose time overall. So it's not worth it.
Yeah. That is, for example, a bonus level that we're not gonna do.
But those bonus levels are really, really fun to play, actually.
That is definitely true. I've barely done them, but it's like a time attack, right? Where you have to like get below a certain time to get gold, silver, and bronze. If I'm not mistaken.
So right
There's-
here, I'm gonna take the tornado.
Yeah. So there's also like an alternative strategy that you could do here, which involves getting a mix in the next stage, but that's really difficult to do. What a mix essentially is having two enemies that yield a different power-up close together and sucking them both in at the same time. Because it's like kind of like this Kirby thing, because it's like what thing is the game supposed to decide? Are you now fire or tornado? So it's like a randomized sequence where if you press it at the right time, you get the power up that you are interested in. That ultimately like saves time here to do. Then you do the first part here with fire instead of tornado, and then get so then you don't have to go into the store in the village that we just saw. That's really not easy to do.
Yeah, the tornado is really, really better for a skip. You will see just a little bit later in this level. It's possible with the fire, but it's trickier, I think.
That is certainly true.
Oh no. That tornado.
So this is called the mud skip. Originally, like the way that you do this in the intended way is you get Kirby full of water and like clean up the mud that way. But that takes a lot of time. So instead, we can just fly above it. So like if the mud is gone, it activates like elevators. So you see like the water Kirby here. Like this is like what we skip with those two mud skips. But here there is like a way around this with like a hammer skip, but it's not faster. For an individual level maybe, but not for the whole run.
Never mind. Okay.
Because a lot of the times there are some power-ups that are better for an individual stage, but because you cannot freely choose your power-up after that stage, it kind of like you have to go with that results in long-term time save rather than just individual level time save.
But the next level is one of the most entertaining level of the run.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's a big car stage. It's basically car the stage.
It's Gran Turismo on Switch.
It's really good. Also, yeah, it's have like this really nice music playing. And there's like in this whole game, there are like these different kind of like different communities in speedrunning that like are interested in beating like the world record for this section or like other like for like bonus stages, because there's like a lot of like mini games in this game that a lot of people are just interested in doing, because it's like much less to commit to than a whole run, for example. That's one of the reasons, like one of the appeals. So here it was actually quite important that he gets under 20 to unlock the bonus objective here again.
Yeah.
So if he had messed it up, he would have had to go for a backup. So this room is just awkward altogether. I feel like I don't like this room. And the next boss fight that's upcoming, I don't like it either.
Oh yeah.
But there's a cool strat that you can do here. I don't know if Hazel gets it or Dust goes for it. But when the boss dies, if he dies at the right spot, he can get the car can get hit the boss, and that can save a bunch of time. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna get. Oh no, never mind. He's doing it differently.
Yeah, I could have get it. I think I didn't take
Yeah.
the risk, but
Yeah. So and this is the hardest car section of the stage. So there's like 2 objectives that he has to meet here. I guess it depends, like actually just one. He just needs to go through like the shortcuts, like the shortcuts with these boxes. So he got 1 out of 2. And the second one is upcoming here, so this one right here. And this actually looks maybe easier than it actually is, but it's like really it's not really not that easy to do this really good car sections. But he got it, and he should get below 52. If I had to call it like a 40, 44, 45, this is.
42.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I'm gonna take a 1 water D here. I'm not supposed to take it in my run, but the thing is, it's just a backup, because on the next level, if you get hit by some kind of enemy, you will lose a water D, and I don't want that to happen in a marathon, so I'm just doing it safely.
Makes perfect sense.
So the next level is, I think, the level I hate the most.
I mean, it's kind of like a ghost house, so
Yeah.
to say.
It's not that hard actually, but everything can go wrong if you have the bad timing.
Yeah, you can cut it really close too, and then it's significantly harder as well. So here he wants to collect the candies that are, I think, are you doing? Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's kind of like this stage is supposed to like kind of like scare you with these traps and stuff. But like, if you're just interested in like a casual game or something, like honestly, this game is great because it has like a lot of like 100% content.
Oh yeah, casually this game is really good. It's one of the best casual game I played for years. It's really good.
I can agree. But I guess we're both biased because we're both speedrunners of the game, but it's really good.
So this enemy right here, the ghost, if you get hit by him, that happens sometimes. You lose a Waddle Dee, so that's why I took the extra one just in case.
But you can definitely see how like the tornado is great for like these sections. Like for this stage, the tornado is really good.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really easier for this stage. So right here, I'm gonna do a little skip. Jump on that. Works.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to get like the trash can, or not the trash can, the vending machine, and shoot like the stuff that is in vending machines, like these. I don't know the name of it, but you're basically supposed to destroy like these traps instead of just jumping over it. But by being high enough, it just despawns.
Sorry for my dogs.
Woofies. Like, the dogs are even excited for this run, man.
Yeah. Not that bad.
So, and what I really like about this game is that each world is very thematically different. And, like, it's actually usually with speedruns like these, there is always that one go-to power-up, and there's actually some diversity with the power-ups that you use throughout the run in any percent, even like especially in 100%. In 100%, you use all kinds of different powers because there are some qualities that are locked behind some abilities for like behind some power-ups. Like this beginning section, you can actually get like a very fast cycle there, but especially like the introduction here, man, this is like so hard to do because the cars here, they're ruthless, man. They just drive over you.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit by those cars. You lose your power most of the time, and you lose. And you get squished.
Get squished too.
Yeah.
And here you don't want to touch the mud, because that would lose you an objective. Waddle Dee. And there's like kind of like this weird mechanic with the tornado that I personally don't understand really that well. I just know how to consistently like get it. Is where when you are on a platform, like when you're on the edge and you do the tornado. When you do a second tornado, it's gonna be slower, but if you stand on the middle of the platform and tornado instead, and then tornado afterwards, it's both they're gonna be the same speed. Because usually, like the way that the tornado is supposed to work is that you're not supposed to end as the tornado, so there's always like a diminishing return each time you use tornado, and there's some ways you can get the second tornado in mid-air not to be affected by the diminishing return. But that's a little bit strange because it involves like just not standing on the edge of when you initiate the first tornado, and to not jump either. Don't really know the reason as to why that works. I don't know if anyone in the community knows that at this time.
Tornado is not that easy to master, I think. I mean,
Mm.
it's really good for open areas levels, but when you are in like small rooms, stuff like that, it's kind of bad. You just bounce on every wall.
Exactly.
Third boss. So I'm gonna try to do it and not lose my tornado there. There's a chance I lose my tornado and I would have to go back to the village to take it.
And the bosses here are really cool. Like each boss I think is kind of unique. So this is Coraline. She's kind of like all of these bosses, you see them at the end of the game again in a sort of like boss rush. But it kind of like feels like a kid-friendly Dark Souls at times, where you can like dodge and parry and stuff like that. So he is trying to like get these stars, because like the way these stars work is that hitting him with 1 star individually does more damage than no. So hitting him with 1 star does 80 damage. Hitting them with 2 stars sucked up does 120 damage. So he wants to single suck them up to get maximum value out of these stars. Unless he only needs 120 damage, then it's obviously that obviously doesn't matter that much, or it's better to just suck up multiple stars at once. So these knives, he collects them up to just boom.
I didn't take the risk. Like, I could have finished her, but it's taking the risk to lose the tornado and going back to the village. Just play it safe.
That is true. And I believe that there is like, so he sucked up like 10 knives there, but I think that there's a cap to like 4 knives, like or 4 stars for knives. I think. I'm not entirely certain about this, but I think. So 4 knives do as much damage as 5 knives.
And the next level, the next world, I think. Sorry, I mean, it's a really cool world, and it's where you're gonna see one of the most broken glitch of the game, of the run so far. If I can do it once again.
Yeah, so there are a couple of glitches that were discovered by Kirby. Like when he flutters, at some point he's gonna get tired, and with specific power-ups, if you I don't know, I forgot the buttons that you have to press. But basically you can just get like this big space jump with a hammer. Like if you like the hammer has the craziest result of all of them. You had the most amount of height, so you can skip over like a bunch of things that you were not normally supposed to skip. So there's, for example, like towards the end, there's the boss called Leongar, and there is a skip for that, but the fewest runner do that at the moment.
Yeah, it's I think it's the hardest glitch of the run.
It's just that you to get the hammer glitch, it's like a very specific like frame window of frames, frame window, and it's like it's not the problem to just get the glitch to a certain extent. The problem is more to get enough height for the skip that you're trying to do, because based on like how good you executed it, you get more or less height. So this is a snow world, probably one of my favorite worlds, just thematically. Well, I think you just have to hold B for the hammer glitch, if I remember correctly. In the end.
Yeah, you have to bounce on the floor
and then press A, right?
Yeah, hold A to jump highest possible. It's kind of weird. I don't know how it works. It's probably with the engine of the game. Oh.
So, and for this world we need 23 Waddle Dees instead of 24. It's like for each world 2, besides the last world, it's like 7 more in the last world.
Oh, come on. Okay.
Like, this is one section again that's very cycle based, so there is like a very quick cycle that you can go with here, but it's really not that easy. I think that's like true for many,
No, don't have it.
for this game in general, is that different levels of runners go for like different difficulties of certain cycles for specific like rooms. There's a lot of cycle-based shenanigans in this game.
So right here you are supposed to swallow those ladders and use it to climb on the ladder, but you can avoid it like that.
Yeah, if you can avoid mouthful mode, you generally want to, because there's like an animation for it, and besides cars usually something that you want to always get. So here he's gonna fly to the clock tower, because that's another objective. See, like for this is like Tornado really crazy, because that's not the intended way of getting that.
Yeah,
Like
not at all.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to like hit like these 4 switches to make like a way to this platform and then just flutter over from the left side. But the power-ups in this game, they allow for a bunch of cool stuff like this. And you guys are very much in for a treat when it comes to the end boss of this game. The end boss of this game is really cool.
Yeah.
So do you switch to fire in the sand world again?
I think so. I don't remember. I have to check my. Hold on. No, I think I switch to fire on the next world. Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not dead.
One thing that always is very scary to have, like in scenarios like these mini boss fights, is when you like drop your ability and then suck it up and then accidentally shoot it out again and not transform into it, because you have to there's like the auto sucking option and the manually sucking option, and you generally want to have the manually sucking option. That's what he did in the introduction stage, where he just switched like some options around, because there's like many strats where you want to, for example, like shoot an enemy away really quick, and if it has a power up, like for example like a mini boss, usually also if you suck him up, gives a power up. You don't want to do that. You just want to spit him out and don't suck him out. So
Yeah.
you want to switch to manually sucking, but there's also like risk with that.
I'm gonna get bombed. No, never mind.
Nice, well done. Well done.
Yeah, there's a new route in this level where you pick 2 more wateries because you skip the whole bridge. But since I'm not skipping the whole bridge, I'm gonna need those I'm not gonna need those wateries. So
Yeah, since this game is still like in its early stages, I would say it's
Yeah.
been out for a month. It's hard to adapt to everything that is found on a daily basis, because at some point there were literally like probably like 40, 50 people in like the Kirby Discord every day looking for strats, looking for optimizations, and like
it's-
probably even more. I don't know, and it's just hard to always know what the meta currently is.
Yeah, the game was released 1 month ago and there's already more than 100 around on the leaderboard, so it's really popular so far.
Exactly.
Oh no, I missed a water. It's okay. I'm gonna recover next level.
Do you could get the fire one here in this world?
No,
Yeah,
I keep tornado.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna let you do what you wanna do. I don't wanna throw you off. Do you know which one you're gonna get?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the one. I'm gonna lose a little bit of time, but I'm gonna have to take the apple at the beginning of the bridge.
Ah. So the apple that you're talking about is actually a tomato.
Yeah, tomato. Sorry, something to eat, you know.
So here he went out of his tomato ability just to, because like surprisingly enough, it's very fast oftentimes to kill enemies without the use of any power up.
Yeah.
So it's very surprising because it's a little bit counterintuitive at first.
Oh yeah, definitely missed waterly. Gonna need the tomato.
I think you didn't get the water cave, right?
Yeah.
Like the cave.
Yeah, this one I missed.
Yeah, I thought to myself when I saw you go to the right. Ah, so he's doing a different route. So
Yeah, no, it's just I forgot.
It didn't think that you might have missed it at that point, so I would have like let you know. But things happen. I mean, this is like very forgiving because you have a lot of Waddle Dees here that you can choose from technically.
This one.
So here's the hammer glitch soon. I think that you will do it here, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna kill the first mini boss and then do the hammer skip.
Yeah. So there's like you can actually already do this skip here at this point, but that's very challenging to do. There's the different levels of that skip here. So there's one from the start here with the tornado, which is the hardest and fastest, but also without the tornado. So the tornado is just there so that you get some extra movement in the air. So he's trying to do it right now. So he's trying to get tired right now, and then press in the right moment B and R. A. That looked really good. So he's trying to go over the trigger right now for the boss.
Got it.
Yeah, it looks super good. Yeah, there we go. So now he's up here, because that was the height glitch, and that's used by like the world record a bunch of times to do a bunch of skips. So this way he like just flies over all of the mini bosses here. And like the version with the tornado, but the version with the tornado is just so that you switch tornado in mid-air, because there's no vertical limit to collecting up a power-up in mid-air, so you can just suck it up regardless of how high you are. And I think he's doing it again.
No,
Look
I'm gonna do
good.
it again. No. I was too low. I would have to fight the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
This time should be good.
Yeah. And that was solid.
Nice. Yes. That was cool. That was okay.
I'm... So yeah, I think that was really great, honestly. Like, nothing to complain there.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a legendary boss upcoming.
DDD. In French, it's called Dadidou. True
As you
fact.
do.
Yeah.
The French.
French DDD.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to switch back to fire at the beginning of the level, right there. I mean, I can do it with the hammer, but I'm gonna need the fire for the next level, so...
Would you mind if I, like, go away for like a minute or so? Because I've just gotten a nosebleed.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I'll be right back, like a minute.
Not a perfect phase one, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Problem solved.
Oh, what? Oh, I was on the wrong side. Can't touch me.
Do. So funny enough, after the defeat of this boss, King DDDDD actually captures Elfiline, which is the fairy behind us right now, and
Yeah.
then
He's waiting for us to...
yeah, see, he's like evil. Just captures her.
No!
And that makes it actually so that whenever like we would normally like skip like a weapon upgrade or something, like these scrolls, there's like one text box less, cause at first, like in the first rewards, Evelyn will always say, you're about to forget like here, like this weapon upgrade, and since
Yeah.
she's not here anymore, she doesn't do that, which is I think is a nice touch. So back to the best power up, the game. Oh, that was like one of those examples of trying to kill an enemy from far away with like fire. Save some time. You often do that with like wanted posters too. So he's gonna. So this is like, I guess, the funniest looking version of Mouthful Kirby. So he's killing Florina here right now with like
It's
this.
really overpowered during the fight.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking that tornado.
Bad. No fire.
I don't like fire. No, just kidding.
I used to be Team Tornado, but then I switched over to Team Fire.
Yeah, I think overall fire is better, but so far I'm more used to tornadoes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Fire also like has like a much higher skill ceiling, so it's harder to adapt to Fire too.
Hey, open it.
Ah, yeah, that's always annoying when that happens. So this bridge here, this is like really cool. With Tornado, you can just go past this bridge because like these enemies, they're actually, like, especially like the snake too.
No!
Yeah, I see. That's what I mean.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh no.
okay.
It's
I've
okay.
never seen that.
Snake is dead.
The snake just snipes you wherever it sees you.
Yeah.
So, but we got our revenge.
Oh, the next level is one. It's a really original level. No, not this one. Sorry, the one after that.
Ah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I think that, this next level is cool as well for like different reasons. I think that you will see the first time, like sleeping Kirby.
Oh yeah, the best ability in the game.
So let's hope that he doesn't get hit by the next snake. Ah, nice.
So it's an ability that makes you recover health. And when you do this in this level, you unlock a Waddle-Dee, so that's why we do it.
Yeah. Are you doing the killing of the Crocroms? The violet slime, like these guys? Like, do you kill both of them?
Yeah, I do it.
Okay.
But I think someday someone will find a new route without killing those two guys, because it's kind of slow, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's like the problem. The later you go into this world, did you forget the one up top?
No, it's okay. I don't take it.
Okay. The later you go into this game, the less options you have for one of these, and sometimes there are like some like not desirable options that we still have, where we're like, okay, this is kind of bit slow. Would be nice to have like an alternative.
Yeah.
So I guess like this is one of them. It's like you go back here and press a switch.
Oh.
So there's like an unnecessary cutscene that we see here. Or we have to kill those blobs.
Yeah, that's the only way to kill them. I tried every way. The only way is to kill them is to use the water. Sadly. I even tried to go under with the ability to go under the ground, you know. It doesn't work.
Yeah, there's also like this item called Crash, which is like an item where like Kirby just explodes, kind of like, yeah, just like an explosion, and then usually like it doesn't one-shot, like it does set amount of damage, but for most things just one-shots them, but it has no effect on certain enemies, and those blobs I think are included in that.
Yeah. I think they are just programmed to be killed with the water, nothing more.
Yeah.
Okay, this level is really funny. You're gonna see why.
So this is like a shopping mall or something like that.
Yeah. Oh no, give me back my power.
I think that this is like probably one of the sections with the most amount of enemies in this same spot. I think that the first out of bounds glitch was discovered on this stage, but unfortunately it doesn't have any use for us in an any% run because it takes too long. But there's definitely a way to go out of bounds in this world, in this stage, and with like since like the hammer glitch has been discovered, I think that almost any stage you can go out of bounds if you really tried. But back then, like when I say back then, 1 month ago, I believe that this was like the first real out of bounds, if you don't count Bonker Skip. That's okay. Beam.
Wait, you can go out of bounds with the hammer bounce in this level?
Yeah, you can go out of bounds with the cone.
Oh, I didn't know
but
about that.
yeah, you have to collect the cone up in midair, and then you have like a couple of frames that you can get another jump off. Kind of like the frame perfect turtle skip. And then you can get on a platform that you're normally not supposed to be on, and from there you can just jump on another platform, and then you're out of bounds. You can actually complete the stage entirely, like, you can actually beat the stage without breaking the wall that we broke in the end.
But it's not faster, right?
It's not fast, you know. The setup takes, it's like probably like 5 seconds slow, I would say, if you do it perfectly. I think that one of the hardest bosses is upcoming in casual playthrough.
Oh, the next one?
Yeah, Armadillo.
Yeah, probably, I think.
Like I when I played this through casually, I died like 5 times, and 2 times was on the next boss.
But it's the best boss in my opinion. He's
Yeah,
really cool.
that's true. I mean, I really like the ending of the game too, but oops. So while this bridge is getting built, he wants to collect the wanted poster, so you do like hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So that you don't just wait on the bridge to build, you do something else, and then when the bridge is built, then you collect the stuff. Then you don't have to collect the wanted poster later on. It's always really important to spend your time mindfully in a speedrun. You can actually jump to the right. Oh yeah, you did it, okay.
Ah!
Ah, unfortunate.
Okay. It's okay.
I think that was like one of the easiest skips that I just realized way too late that that is possible. Cause like I would always go up that ladder, and then I saw like some other runner do this, what you just did, I was like, huh? Am I stupid? But yeah, if you want to learn this game, there's like on speedrun.com, there's like a Discord with a bunch of people who are really passionate about Kirby in general, and they are been extremely helpful in helping to like learn this game.
Yeah, and they are they are grinders. They found a lot of stuff in only 1 month. Like the first runs on this game, I think it was just under 3 hours, if I remember well, and they just found so many things so fast. That's insane because the world record now is around 141, right? And it's probably gonna get lower and lower. I think it's gonna be 130 really soon.
Yeah, it's just when so many people at once look at it. So one person looks at like 1-1, the other person looks at 1-3. It's just with the help of so many people, it's just like a group effort where it's just like one single person couldn't have done it in that time period because you have just so much more people that contribute to it all. Don't forget the cactus here in the end.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, and funny enough about this game as well, there's like, after you've beaten it any percent, there's like, I think another version of this game where every stage is just harder. Which is really cool. So there's even like after if you've done any percent, like it is like a game like Mario Odyssey where you can really lose like some time in grinding and stuff like that because there's like so much extra content in this game. Probably not as much as Mario Odyssey, but it's one of those typical Nintendo games where you just collect a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. On a casual playthrough, it takes you like, I think it takes you 10 hours, 15 hours to get the 100% on the game.
Never done 100%,
Oh.
so I don't know. I've only ever done any percent. So he's about to probably fight against one of the harder bosses. He probably will make him look like super easy, but like this game is not known for its difficulty in a casual playthrough. It's rather like the difficulty of this game really comes from speedrunning it, or like maybe making yourself like a specific challenge or something. But this game casually is not really something that's like super challenging. You just have a lot of health, and I think this is like something that I've not mentioned yet, but we're playing on Spring Breeze mode. So there are 2 difficulty options, Wild Mode and Spring Breeze mode, and we choose Spring Breeze mode. But after this fight I'm gonna explain as to why. It's like you wanna bait him so that he doesn't travel that much and that you get some damage onto him. And he's like using some dodges there so that he just doesn't get damage. So that's why this is kind of like Dark Souls for kids. This phase is really annoying.
Yeah, it's It's really hard. You want to touch him the most you can, but not getting hit. It's not that easy.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Oh god.
And you can always like use a power up, and that's like really bad when it happens, because that's always like at least like a 2 seconds time loss. And sometimes it's random, like some hits are guaranteed to lose a power up, some others are random and or like based on RNG, and there was something else that I just forgot. But yeah, this was so here you see like you would just collect the one of these. There's no text box that pops up, because normally there's a text box that pops up that says like, oh, you need to collect this weapon upgrade, but because Elflin was captured, is not present.
Yeah. I hope we can just lose Elfilin at the beginning of the run so we don't have the state blocks.
It would be nice. It would be super cool. So we're about to enter the last world. And the reason we play on Spring Breeze mode is because it's faster. It's a simple answer, but in Wild mode you get bonus for like every stage that you complete. You get like 50 coins plus, and that takes a number of frames every time after each stage. And on Wild mode, certain enemies exist that doesn't exist in Spring Breeze mode. So I think it makes like roughly like a minute of difference to select Spring Breeze mode over Wild mode. So Spring Breeze mode is the fastest, and it's not like significantly easier. It sounds like a story mode where everything is completely free. You have double the amount of health, but it's honestly, Wild mode isn't that much more difficult. It's like, honestly, both I feel like more or less cosmetic in my opinion. Like Wild mode is certainly more difficult, but it's like not crazily, like not very crazy amount. They're very close. So I feel like the names aren't fitting for what they actually are. Spring Breeze mode is not such a breeze, and Wild mode isn't that wild.
Oh no.
Ah yeah, those rabbits, they are very aggressive. Yeah, I would say that the like difficulty curve in this game is also very well done. Is that I do think that World 6 is probably the hardest world. Of course, difficulty is subjective to an extent, but in a game gets more and more complex as time goes on, and you will really see that in the next couple of stages, because there's also like so much more optimizations that can be done here. If he has enough more of these collected, he can also get like unlock the item shop early, and if he does that, then so there's like this item shop where you can get like speed boost and attack boost, and to have that for the last couple of stages is really good. So we hope that he has enough.
Not sure, honestly. I think I get hit by every boss. So.
Yeah, so you have to unlock it, you have to get like 145. To unlock the item shop, you have to get like 145 one of these in total, not just in a specific world. And you have to collect some that aren't mandatory to unlock the end boss stages. And those are usually ones that you would get at the end bosses of each world, and some of them are like objectives that tell you to not get hit. And for example, he got hit by the boss, this World 2 boss, the tree boss, and that could already be enough for him to not have to get it as early as possible, but he could still get it the stage afterwards. But then it's less impactful, but it's still probably gonna save some time.
I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna have enough.
Okay.
Or I don't think so. Oh. Come on.
This is again a very Psyche-based stage.
Right.
And I think he might do the fast strat here, where you see like the crash ability, which I earlier explained a little bit, which is like this huge explosion. But I'm not sure if he's doing it.
Oh no! Come on.
It's looking bad.
I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
The risk to lose the fire there.
Yeah. There's definitely a bunch of places in this run, like if you don't get it, then run's over. So for example, like if he would go for a PB or something, and wouldn't get that strat, then that's really bad. That's usually like run killer. So basically, like if he had done the crash strat, this boss would have been a one-shot basically. But it's really not easy to do. It requires you to start, like, trigger the bomb at the specific point, and if you have like mess up with the movement early on at that point, it might be too just risky to go for it, especially like in a marathon. And this is definitely the world that has, I think, the most amount of skips with the hammer glitch, with this hammer super jump glitch. But we won't be seeing many of these because they're really difficult, and only a handful of runners can really do it consistently at this point.
Come on. I didn't land on the platform.
And yeah, this is like probably one of like the biggest complaints that I personally have about this game, is that the fluttering here in this game can sometimes be a little bit misleading. So it looked like it should have been fine for him to get onto the platform again with flutters, but his height cap was so low that he couldn't have never reached it. So the only option that he had there was to fall down.
I'm not gonna get enough.
You could still technically get it for the next stage, right? I think. Well, after this next stage.
Yeah, after the next stage. If I don't get it this stage, I'm gonna go for it for the next stage.
Oh, there was just a raid by Juhorse. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the speedrun marathon. So this is personally one of my favorite stages, just because it's really fun to do.
Yeah, and I have to not get crushed, or I will lose a water lead there.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like one of those passively gained Waddle Dees. So sometimes like there's one in the next couple of stages too, where if you mess something up and get crushed or something, and you won't get it. So this is like something Sometimes you want to like get a backup there. There's like one in the. Don't forget the cafe. Okay, coffee. So like in the upcoming stage, like one stage after the next one, there's one. If you fall down into the pit, into lava with the cone, that's right at the end of the stage. So if you cut it like really close and you fall into the lava, the run is basically over. So I think that he's gonna collect a backup for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one right there. I don't need it, but
And this is based on a Japanese TV show, I believe. Like this section right here.
oh
Where you
yeah,
have to-
I know which show you're talking about. Yeah, it's probably true.
And by the way, this game almost has no RNG in it, as far as I know. This is just a very execution-heavy game.
The only heavy RNG thing about this game is the final boss, I think.
Yeah, that could be true.
So this stage is basically all the bosses in a row we encountered so far.
And ideally, you would have at this point like boost buffs, like attack boost buffs, speed buffs. But for that, you need a set amount of water Ds to access it. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't
If
have
you-
enough, sadly. Because I
Well,
get hit by every boss in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no,
So-
that's not good.
Ah,
I
yeah.
spit it out.
That's that's one of those annoying things that can happen in this game. I'm thinking, is there a backup?
Yeah, no,
the-
it's okay because there's a fire just after that, I think. Just before,
Yeah, exactly.
before the next boss. Oh.
What?
No, it's the second.
Yeah.
The boss after this one, you have to take a chest on the right with water D, but that's not this one.
So here's actually a skip where if you have like a speed boost, you can actually go straight from one section to over like that point to the bridge. So with the speed boost, you don't have to go around the track. You can just cut it a little bit there. But that's not easy because the car is extremely hard to control, in my opinion, with the speed boost.
Hopefully there's a fire there.
Yeah. Okay, this was one of those spots where losing like your power wasn't that bad, but nothing but the WRs. 20,000 resets and counting. So here's a chest that you wanted to collect on the first boss, on the right here, but kind of got confused. And there's also like some like also this is actually a thing, you guys have not seen this in this run yet. This is actually kind of cool.
This is my favorite mouse wheel, honestly.
You're gonna get the one on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess you gotta go for a backup too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the last one on the stage as well.
Fine. So with the attack boost power up here, so there is an objective. If you kill Chlorine without getting damage, which is extremely easy to do if you have the attack power up, and it's much more challenging if you don't, because like with the attack power up, Chlorine would be dead by now, so you have to dodge a little bit more. But he's doing a good job at the moment, and I don't think that he needs it necessarily to get it. Like he nice, didn't get hit. Yeah, nice. I think he didn't get hit.
Yeah, that's
Pork.
Okay. Of course, it's
Pork.
yeah, it's way faster with the boost, of course, but
Yeah, but you didn't get hit. I mean, that's not easy to do without the thing. Without the... Wow. Oh, this is also really cool. So what you just saw there on the left side is like a capsule. So there's like a bunch of capsules that you can collect, but this is not interested in any percent. It's actually just a waste of time if you get one, because there's like animations for that. And coins, you don't really need that many either. You just need some coins for the item shop later on, but you will get that passively without really going out of your way to get any coins.
yeah, I have more than enough.
Yeah. I think you need like 750 or 800 or something. So, are you gonna get the items now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the village and get the buffs right now.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna get 2 speed boost and 3 damage boost. Because when you buy more than 5, you get an animation because the guy in the shop gives you a
capsule?
A capsule, yeah. So 5 is the most I think you can buy. 6 you get an animation. So
I think that's true, because I always bought 5 and I never gotten an animation before.
yeah.
But I've gotten an animation before on a file where I had bought more than 5.
Yeah, I think it's 6 the animation. Oh, so I had more waddles than what I needed because I had backup waddles, so I have to watch this animation. You don't watch this on the run.
And this is the item shot that we want. So there's actually a funny strat that you can do here. So there's like the mail office there on the left side. So there's like codes in this game.
Oh no.
What you doing to the owner of the shop, man? Leave him alone. He's a good boy. Nah, but there's like this mail office here where you can get like use like some codes, and these codes you can actually get a free power boost there as well, which earlier, like when the game came out like a month ago, was a strat where you would like get out your keyboard and plug it into your Switch so that you can type in the code faster, so you don't have to use the touch screen. But that's like kind of obsolete by now, I think. It's not. It's going to the shop here is quicker. And I was at first very skeptical of this strat, because it does take like over a minute to get the power-ups here. Everything taken into consideration.
Not this one. So you can stack boost. You can keep it in your inventory. So I'm gonna keep this one in my inventory and use it later.
And then as you can see, there's so much extra content in this game that we don't even explore, like for example the arena there. Bunch of mini games. Oh, that's probably one of the longer stages, and probably one of the stages that has the most skips, but we won't really see many of these right now. But you can do a lot of shenanigans with hammer here.
That's why I took extra water Ds, because you don't want to miss a water D there, or you have to go to do this level once again, and it's really long. Like it's 5 minutes, I think 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Just in it.
I was about to say, oh, you didn't get hit by the fireball there. I usually always get hit by that. Then. So there's gonna be a small skip with the tornado here, I believe.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. Nice.
So you can skip this section with the hammer bounce. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna get it.
The funny thing about this is also there like skips into like skips. So there's also like a skip in this room for when you are in the room, and there's a skip for this room when you are outside of the room. So there are different levels of skips here that you can do. So normally you're not supposed to do this with tornado, but instead you're supposed to like get the mouthful water thing. But you can also just do it like that. But if you do like the hammer strat, you can just from outside just jump over this entire section. And this section always a little bit scary, because when you fall down it can be really annoying. Should really happen, but it's definitely not impossible. So there's a skip for this here in this room as well, but it requires a hammer again.
It's not hard to do, but the thing is I have to use the mix to get the fire back, and I'm not used to it so far, so...
Yeah, the mix is interesting in the sense that based on what power-ups you've collected during the run, the mix timings are gonna be different. So you basically have to, it's like a roulette, and if you press at the right time, you get the power-up that you want. But let's say if you accidentally collected a hammer that you didn't meant to collect, or like, let's say, the needle ability, then it's also within that rotation, and then the timing that you were used to is messed up. So it's really hard to... so you have to put in a lot of practice and know how to know like what your mix roulette is gonna be. So it's a lot of practice in that sense. And upcoming is the part that I was talking about with like the cone, like when you fall into lava with the cone, or in general at the art section, then you're not gonna get a water D, and the world record does it so that if he like fails it, it's basically run over. But for marathon, obviously, it just makes sense to have a backup one.
Yeah, that's why I took the extra ones. Yesterday I did a practice run and I just felt in the lava with the cone and the rod died there, so I didn't want that to happen today.
Yeah, and it's like super easy to get hit by an enemy and then pushed into the lava. Even though it seems easy and it's not that difficult, it's just, especially like at this point, if you're on a really good pace run, you're probably gonna be nervous. and you don't play as controlled as you would normally play, because you're like, oh no, I don't want to fall into the lava, and then
you do.
so here you're not supposed to fall into the lava. So if at any point here you fall into the lava, your Waddle Dee is gone. You see like how many enemies there are, and when they're just like slam against you, it just can easily happen. Or you just jump wrong here and fall into the lava.
Nice. I didn't fall.
Okay, so that means that he has more than enough now to unlock it. Probably has like 34 or so.
Yeah. So this is gonna be the one last DDD. And then the final boss. I mean, there's Leongar first. There's a boss, and there's the final boss, but the final boss has 2 different forms.
So there's basically just bosses upcoming now.
Yeah.
And the best music is incoming as well, or like one of the best musics.
Oh yeah, on the second phase, I love that music.
Yeah, it's really good. And we're gonna go full anime style here very soon too, with the end boss. So at this point the Waddle Dees don't matter anymore. Besides, maybe you don't want to get more than you need, because that wastes time. That was the first phase of King DDDD. So here, there's actually like an ice strat that you can do. That is faster, but it's like not easy to do. So now it's Dog DDDDD. Daddy do.
That you do.
Do you have your live split currently running with you?
Yeah.
What does the time say?
I'm 13 seconds behind my PB.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad.
I mean, it's almost PB.
Still possible, I think.
So there's a skip that you can do on the next fight, but that's very challenging. You do the hammer super jump and jump into the cutscene and basically skip the fight here. But, I mean, the fight doesn't... It's really cool, just also without the skip. It doesn't take that long at all. The dodging looks always so dramatic.
It's not going good so far.
I mean, you got it.
You don't see that phase in most of the run. It's just I was too slow to kill him.
And now we rescued Elfinet back. But it's not over yet. Alex from Madagascar got a buff after the zebra friend. Someone just said in chat. Big true. But now, like, look at what he became. This is just basically holding B until he's dead. There's legit nothing that can go wrong here.
And the
Okay.
final.
So if you guys have not seen this boss is really cool. I think this is not something you would expect from a Kirby game.
Oh yeah, I was really surprised at first. Then I'm gonna use my buff, just when I have the opportunity to hit him. So I'm just gonna wait for him to be close to me. And use my buff. Oh no. Let's go.
Now it's a race to the finishing line. And it's really bad when you accidentally shoot off your fire on this boss fight. It happens unfortunately more often than you would think. So this was just like some more phases that you probably will see. Like, yeah, there we go. So there usually like bosses always have like these two phases. When they're on low health and when they're like high amount of health. Don't ask how you can dodge this. Okay, he actually doesn't. Okay, like because like I'm really bad at dodging this Meteorite. I always get hit by that. The time is not when the boss dies, because there's an ending section. So it's kind of hilarious. All of these stars, man. Just imagine getting them all up and then shoot them with it.
Please don't go, please. Nice.
Oh, okay, there we go, there we go. So now the anime moment.
I'm really bad to mash my controller.
I mean, that was alright.
Truck.
Like, it was like, what is this, man?
He has a big stomach.
So, American truckers. Yeah, this game is kind of like crazy. We have like a full DBZ moment here very soon.
For real.
Like, not even joking. Like, there's gonna be a beam battle. But there's nothing that can really go wrong at this point. Besides, like, the ending mashing sequence, it can actually be quite bad. I've had runs that lost to that.
Oh yeah, I'm bad at mashing. And you can fall actually. I never failed, but apparently you can fall there.
Oh, okay. So watch this, so we...
Okay, this is the moment where I break my controller.
You're supposed to, like, spam B and, like
The left
circle
stick as
the
well.
joystick.
That's like impossible. Ah.
He's trying to stop us with this Metroid. Asteroid. Yeah, exactly, man. It's like... Like, I honestly just, like, circle the joystick. I don't even mash B it. Like, is this fucking Son Gohan versus Cell? Dragon Ball Z? If you can't press B, oh yeah, okay, you got it. There it is. Time.
Time will be 2 seconds and time.
There we go.
Oh, I had troubles mashing at the end. I really hate that.
I usually just like circle the control stick there, cause I don't know, I cannot do this both at the same time. Maybe I'm I don't know.
Oh, you're not the only one, don't worry. I am too. So that was Kirby in the Forgotten Land, any percent. Really cool game and really cool run, in my opinion.
You did a good job, man.
Thank you, I tried my best, and thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Time 2:00:38. Okay.
Just below your PB, like it was almost PB for you, so...
I think my PB was 2:00:26, so it's really close. For a marathon, it's good.
Awesome run.
Thanks.
So...
Farewell.
farewell everyone, enjoy the rest of the marathon. So, see you guys around. Peace.
Wow. Wow.